Good evening, everyone. I am doing a demonstration video of the PFC 2400 HD Orgone Generator. Before I get into this, I'm going to do an overview on a couple of the topics here with the Orgone devices, Orgonite, the Orgone technologies. If you're anything like me, you might be asking a couple of questions. Firstly, why is this device not more popular if it's so good? Well, firstly, I'll say to you, you would be surprised at some of the people who are using these devices right now. You would be very surprised. Some names you might recognize, and I will point to you any significant technological discovery in the past. Look at what has happened. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. If you had discovered this device, this technology, this breakthrough, what would you do? Would you go to the mainstream and say, look, aha, I've got it? What do you think they would do? Many of them, the mainstream types would just kick you out. They'd laugh at you. Look at Tesla. Look at these other innovations, and some we may not have heard of because they got stifled. It's counter to the interests of some of the major businesses that are in charge now to have stuff like this out. This is not a magic cure-all. This is an experimental technology only. This is not to be used for any healing. Seriously. Okay? The orgone is another word for life force. And if you take serious evaluation of some of the concepts that you and most people are already familiar with, the usage of these devices will come intuitively, such as a structural link. That is a fancy term in metaphysics. It's called a witness for in identifying material representation. I'll give you the concept of a picture. You're waiting in line at the grocery store. You see a picture of a celebrity, maybe one that you're attracted to, and you have some sort of emotion linked, caused by that picture. This is a device that's generating an energy field. Most people feel the energy field. Again, make sure you're getting the devices from us. There's a lot of phonies out there, and if you aren't happy, send it back. We don't want anyone out there to feel dissatisfied. Now, if you take the device apart, one, you'll probably not figure it out anyway. Two, if you send it back in shambles, we're not just gonna bend over. So the other thing is, why are you selling these? Why don't you just maybe transfer some gold from a meteor? Well, I can tell you that we are seriously working on it, as well as many other things that would change the functioning of the planet. I believe that this device will be the next personal computer. I was very skeptical when I bought one, and time after time and again, it worked very well for manifesting things in my life. And that's I can give you a list of studies and different quantum theories, and we can have scientists and doctors, but many of those people frankly will lie for money anyway. If you look at some of the recent with the sugar, the Monsanto, you name it, it's hard to say, but at part of any significant movement of whatever you want to call it, for good or advancement, it has commerce as a aspect of it. I can tell you that for sure. You can look into that, think about that. You're familiar with that. Some good documentaries and stuff, but any significant movement has commerce, and if you're not satisfied, send it back. You will get your money's worth of these devices. And just like I said, not everyone's going to take to it all at once. It's going to take some people who are, go out on a limb and are willing to consider that there will be new technological advancements, and that they first won't be blessed by mainstream science, and and maybe we'll discover something together along the way. It is experimental. It is definitely not for healing. And if you're like me and you're curious and you are into manifestation, you know that there's more out there than meets the eye. You can have a lot of fun with it, a lot of success. This is the PFC 2400 HD Orgone Generator. All Orgone generators plug into your normal wall outlet. Here is some Orgonite. Remember, there's a big difference between Orgonite and an Orgone generator. A lot of people call Orgonite, even knock off Orgonite with the big metal shavings, an Orgone generator. That's a falsehood. Orgonite accumulates orgone. An Orgone generator generates orgone. There's an electromagnetic pulse set a certain hertz frequency that generates an orgone field. Now, this particular device, see the power button? This one has a readout for the hertz frequency. So this is a precision frequency chi generator. So you can set the exact frequency. All of the generators do pulse at a frequency. The heavy duty devices have a specific frequency setter. You can use a multimeter or the RAD5 now comes with this digital readout as well as the ATG12. So here you go. You got 3 dials, silver output tubing, 99.99% pure, weld plate. So I got my fingerprints on it here. This is brand new. All of our devices are made by the family-run business. You got an audio input, green light flashing at the frequency you set. Now, technically, you can put your intended whatever you want to charge anywhere around the device. Out in front, on top, over here. We're not very dogmatic. There's a lot of ways to use this tool. You can charge a glass of water like that. You can charge it like this. Now with the PFC, it's for someone who's interested in precision frequencies. Again, all the Orgone generators put out a pulsing orgone field. This one you can set to exactly what you want frequency-wise. There's a big misconception in radionics that radionics rates are somehow to do with frequencies. That's not true. Meaning you can set a rate of 58526 by writing down 58526 on the device, and that's nothing to do with frequency. A rate is simply a solidified number that represents an abstraction, a thought. And they've done studies. People scribble on a sheet of paper while they're thinking of something. They go back and they'll remember what they were thinking about. I mean, quantum science and stuff, you see, these quantum entanglements, there's some good movies out there, some good studies coming along, but a lot of stuff's been around since antiquity. Think of like the voodoo doll, for example. It's the same concept. Yep, all right. So 33 hertz, I've read, represents like Christ consciousness, pyramids. So there you go. Depending on how exact you want to be. Very sensitive, so you get the idea. All right. Now, when I first found these things, a guy in a velvet jumpsuit came to a party, and whenever he whipped this thing out, I said I knew this would happen one day. He put a crystal down on the Orgonite pad, and he set it where that crystal would color the output of the orgone. Being life force, it's supposed to be an organic energy that is influenced. Obviously, you probably have heard about the, observer and the observed experiments where by observing something you influence that thing. So basically, the tool is for the practitioner to set as you wish, meaning you have a lot of flexibility in the way you set it up. I personally like to do either the program operations, where you get a link card, a unique card that links your generator to your program, and it energizes whatever programs you're running online. The unique structural link, we've written quite a bit about it. I include links on all the stuff so you can read about it and you can test it yourself. Say, for instance, you're at work, you've got this with you. These two are linked by a quartz piece, an identical structural link, and you can get 2 glasses of water, same glass, the same type of water, and you can energize one, don't energize the other. In fact, keep them a few feet apart and have someone do a blind taste test so they didn't see which one you energized and see which one they like better. Here's a nice gold-plated pyramid. You can place this on here. Energizes the orgone energizes the pyramid, and as I've said, you really don't even need to buy one. You can put a picture of one on there. It's a link to the presence, a representation. A picture does say 1,000 words. So with this, here you have a power booster. Every power booster, it's $119 comes with a linked Orgonite piece. So for the heavier duty devices, you got the silver tubing. It's pure silver, and that not only boosts the output because it's a added amount of super Orgonite, but it links this generator at that frequency to your pendant. So if you're gonna go work out, it's at 62 hertz. It's potent stuff, you guys. I really, I wish I could fully explain it scientifically. I'm sure someone can, but I was astounded. Sometimes I'll set stuff on here and I'll forget about it. A week later, I'll say, why did that? Oh, that's right. It's a life force field. It's a magnetic field. Setting your intention. It's an interesting word, intention. But basically, you're solidifying your focus onto this device. And, I've read a lot of different manifestation books, done all the weekend courses. Apparently, one of the reasons why a lot of manifestations fail is because a person will lose focus. So they'll focus on something and then they'll keep thinking about it, maybe negatively, worrying if it's actually going to work or not. And that's the beauty of the device. You set it and forget it. So you set it up and the orgone energizes that which you set, and then you don't have to deal with it anymore. They used to do prayers for hours and hours chanting. Well, they're basically generating a life force, accumulating a life force, directing that life force towards a specific target, whatever chant it may be, even certain mudras, affirmations, and they're energizing those particular trends. And that's all she wrote. Especially in large groups, you have a bigger orgone field. But do you think we're going to have to do that forever? I don't think so. I think it's going to be like churning butter. I'm not perfect, but I'll tell you what, This tool has changed my life. So again, I think it's like a personal computer. I think everyone's going to have one. They're going to come a long way, by the way. We're working on it. But in the meantime, it's give you quite a boost in your set goals and desires. So you can run multiple operations at once on here. With this one, you can only set one frequency at a time. But remember, you can have a frequency, then have multiple other operations that are just set to be boosted by the orgone output. You don't need a frequency for every set. In fact, a frequency is a secondary to the orgone output. So it's more important that it outputs orgone than it outputs orgone at a particular frequency. So you can put your picture here, your family's picture, your business card. You can put an associate's business card. You can write on the back of that associate's business card that that person wants to work with you. They associate you as someone very successful. You just got to try it. You just got to try it. That's all there is to it. Everyone's doing this stuff all the time in their own ways. The guy said, wasn't that like cheating? I said, well, don't you think about what you want? Don't you make an effort, put energy into your desires? It's the same stuff, just a better technology to be used for accomplishing your goals. Water, smoothies, coffee, that's real nice. You put some coffee on there. So if you want to set a higher frequency, like for whatever reason, 1,428, you can use a lower, like, 1.42, or you can use 14.12, basically to achieve the next octave. So for instance, 33 hertz would be likened unto 333 hertz. If you did 33.33. All right. PFC 2400 HD, OrgoneGenerator.com, full customer service. You can call and talk to me, 202-827-6824. OrgoneGenerator.com. Comment, like, and if you got a skeptical friend, 9 times out of 10 the water test works. And of course, you can wait, be part of the pack, or test it out, get a competitive advantage. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.